Hello, and welcome to another edition of Making Connections. I'm Jesse Austin. I'm guest hosting this episode, and today we have two special guests who will be talking about an exciting initiative that's taking place in the central Wisconsin area. I have with me Tricia Fancher, who's the program coordinator for the Hannah Center, and also Megan Birginal, who's the program manager of Three Bridges. And before we go into the news that they're going to be talking about concerning their collaboration, which is going to be a benefit to the entire community, perhaps it'd be good for each one of them to talk about their different organizations and give us just a brief background. So I'll have you go first, Tricia.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So the Hannah Center is a home. We're located in Marshfield currently, and we're a home for women in crisis. And at the Hannah Center, we're assisting any woman in crisis to set long and short-term goals. And through our individual goal-based program, the end goal for each of our residents is that she is able to live successfully independently in her future. And not only are we working with the women on the life skills, so teaching life skill classes and things like that, but also working with the women to learn the life skills they need, but in turn so they can turn around and teach those life skills to their children. So working to end the cycles of things such as poverty and homelessness and abuse and addiction and things like that in our community. Typically women are staying at the Hannah Center anywhere from 9 to 12 months for successful graduation, so it's a longer term program that we're running, and we've existed. This is our 25th year, so we've been actually our 26th year because it's a new year. So we've been for 26 years in Marshfield. So
thank you I was going to ask where you're located. So
yes.
Okay. And so Megan, could you tell us a little bit about Three Bridges?
Yeah, so Three Bridges is a nonprofit organization that's based out of Wisconsin Rapids. Our three main focus areas are treatment, housing, and recovery, and life skills. We have a team that supports people finding their pathway to recovery, helping them recover from all substance use. We are currently working in the Aspirus Riverview Hospital. We have coaches that go in the event of an overdose. And then just helping people find their own pathway to recovery for a better lifestyle.
Okay. All right, so I get a very good idea, and I think our viewing audience also of there is some overlap in terms of your missions, in terms of wanting to help people get onto a better path and recover from crisis situation, as it were. So I guess the next question would be, the two of you your two of your organizations, I should say, are planning to collaborate on an initiative. So would either one of you or both of you preferably want to talk about that program?
Yeah, absolutely. So recently the Hannah Center was approached by Wisconsin Rapids community members and leaders about potentially expanding and having a second location in Wisconsin Rapids. So as I started doing some research and just working with my board of directors and things to see what that would look like, I was put in connection with Three Bridges, who was also interested in the housing issue that people are facing, that people in crisis are facing. And after much talk between Megan and I, as well as our board of directors, we have decided to partner together to bring a second location of the Hannah Center to Wisconsin Rapids. We're very excited to be working with Three Bridges. Our missions, as you said, very much align together nicely. We're working with the same population to teach them the skills that they need to be successful and to end those cycles of poverty and abuse and addictions and things like that. So together in this partnership, really just able to come together and reach out to the community and say, hey, we want to do something to make this a better place and to heal our community. And we have a better chance of doing that together. So
yes. So a lot of the individuals that we are working with right now are women with children or women who have been pregnant, and they could really benefit from going to the Hannah Center, but not having a location in Wisconsin Rapids hinders us from being able to do so for the reason that the Hannah Center is full much of the time. Mm-hmm. So if we had a second location, and also when people are recovering from substance abuse. Typically, they don't have a driver's license and those kinds of things. So for them to have transportation to go to their appointments is tough for them. And I think that that's a huge reason why we need to be able to expand and have the Hannah Center in Wisconsin Rapids, and also the life skills that they're learning, being able to help them with that.
Okay, good. So, at what point did you come to a final determination that this was going to happen, and then how are you progressing right now with making this a reality? Or
Yeah, excellent question. So we, probably in November of 2018, we had come together and decided that we were going to partner together to bring a second location of the Hannah Center to Wisconsin Rapids. And we are in the very beginning stages right now. So really reaching out to the community. At this point, Three Bridges and the Hannah Center have decided that, you know, this is something that our communities need based on all kinds of different numbers and statistics and things like that. It's a huge need in our community, and how can we make it happen? Being that we are both nonprofit organizations, and the Hannah Center specifically, we don't accept any state or government funding. We have existed for 26 years in Marshfield based off of almost wholly community donation.
very impressive.
Yeah. So in order to make a second location happen in the Wisconsin Rapids area, we are at the point of reaching our hand out to the Wisconsin Rapids community and saying we're willing and we're ready to make this happen. We just need the community's help at raising those funds to make this become a reality.
So, and just to give the viewing audience an idea of the scope of what you've been able to accomplish, in a general sense, typically how many people are you caring for at any given time, say at the Hannah Center?
Yeah, right now I have 5 women, and you're putting me to the test, 8 children in the house. So we hold a maximum capacity of 5 women at the Hannah Center location, or at the Marshfield location, excuse me. So we hold 5 women. The ratio of children really just depends how we can switch up the beds to meet the needs of our families. We have been operating at full since before July of 2018. We've been operating at full. We recently had a successful graduation, you know, so every time we have a successful graduation, we're bringing the next person from the waiting list in. At this time, I believe our waiting list has 8 women on it right now, currently. So,
yeah, I like the use of some of the words that you use when you talk about this program. You say it's healing, and you talk about graduation. Moving onward to a better situation. And I would ask the same thing of you, Megan. Generally speaking, how many people do you care for at any given time right now?
So since June, we have had over 20 ED2 referrals. So that's only making a connection for individuals who have suffered from an overdose or who are going through severe withdrawal in the hospital. And then we recently, like within the last 3 months, did a soft launch of the community program. So now we're taking referrals from like the health department, the Department of Social Services, probation, different community entities are coming together, and we're taking referrals from them to help them as well. Our community referrals are at about 15 right now. But the thing with recovery that we have to remember is that these people come and go. We have to remember that relapse is also a part of the process, unfortunately. And I think the biggest thing is that they know that we're here when they're ready. So sometimes we have people that aren't ready and we don't hear from them for a couple weeks or a month, and then they come back and then they are ready. Out of the individuals that we have served, we've had a 72% success rate of getting them into treatment. All of our individuals that we have been working with have made improvement on a wellness plan.
And given I think it's been well documented that there's somewhat of a problem in our community in terms of substance disorders. I think everybody can understand the importance of services like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as Megan was speaking, and their Three Bridges is expanding their services as to who they're covering through the health department and Department of Corrections and things like that. That's huge too in our partnership, because being able to call one centrally located place and be connected with not only the Hannah Center and getting you set up with potential housing and things like that, but also getting them connected with a recovery coach. Our goal would be that when we open the Wisconsin Rapids location, that there would be room to have office space within the Hannah Center for Three Bridges. So then not only the women that are on site living at the Hannah Center have access to a recovery coach, but also the women and men that are coming in to see, Megan or whoever that may be through Three Bridges, can also have access to the different things that we're doing at the Hannah Center, such as life skill classes and things like that.
I think another thing that I was going to mention is that a recovery coach is a peer. So we help them on a different level of, we're not like their doctor or their counselor or their sponsor. We are walking this journey alongside of them, and we're all equal to them. So the other part of having a recovery coach is that recovery coach also acts as a resource for these people and as an advocate for them. So we're able to help them get into treatment. We're able to help them find housing. We're able to go to doctor's appointments with them. We're able to help them with transportation. We're able to do referrals for them. So a recovery coach is basically somebody who goes through all those walks of life with them, not just one little piece. And the big part, I think, that Tricia and I both of our organizations have in common is the continuation of care. So being able to continue to see them even after they've had a successful graduation is a big part. But a lot of times we see that they go to counseling for so long, or they're in like drug court or something like that for so long, and then they start to do better, so they graduate from those things, but then where's the care after that?
Yes.
So we need to be continuing to support them even after.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's huge through Three Bridges and their recovery coaches, as well as at the Hannah Center. Both were offering aftercare services, and together having two agencies and organizations to provide that aftercare is only going to help that person become more successful in their futures.
And just out of curiosity, when you were talking about the peer approach, are the peers, are they individuals who themselves have gone through this situation, or?
Oh, yes. Yes. So all of our recovery coaches, so in order for you to go through CCAR, which is the recovery coach training that all of our coaches go through, you have to have experience in recovery, whether that be indirect or direct experience. So all of our coaches, the majority of them, have walked this same pathway. All of them are in long-term sobriety. So they've been there. They know what you're going through. And to be able to share that hope, I think, is another huge part of it, that sometimes we see families in the hospital and the parents or the family members are so broken, thinking that these individuals will never overcome that, and being able to spread that hope and tell them, like, I'm a living, walking example that you can recover.
That's very powerful. You mentioned earlier that you are going to be reaching out to the people in the Wisconsin Rapids area for their support. Is there a specific goal that you have in mind for this initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we do have we have an account set up through Valley Communities here in Wisconsin Rapids. If you go on the Hannah Center's website, which is just hannahcenter.com, under the donation page, there's a link where you can donate right to the Wisconsin Rapids location.
Excellent.
So that's all set up, and our goal is to raise $1 million. So $200,000 of that would be towards the location. So once we find and secure a home for the Hannah Center, so $200,000 would be budgeted for that, and then the remaining amount would be 5 years worth of operating costs for the Hannah Center. So in order for us to really be successful and do the work that we do the best that we can do it, having that 5 years worth of operating costs built up ahead of time before we open the doors in Wisconsin Rapids is really huge.
Have you gotten any buy-in from community leaders? I know that they approached you in the first place about this, but have you gotten the support of community and political leaders in Marshfield or Wisconsin Rapids about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have recently met with the chief of police here in Wisconsin Rapids. He came and toured the Hannah Center, and we just had an awesome time talking about, the positive things that this could bring to the community. And he let us know that we definitely have all of their support to bring a second location of the Hannah Center to Wisconsin Rapids. And then throughout this, beginning to speak with groups such as at churches. I recently spoke with the Knights of Columbus here in Rapids and things like that. So really just beginning to speak with the community and share about what we're doing, and all of the people that we've talked to have definitely been supportive. I've heard a lot of people saying, like, we need to do something, we have this issue in our city and we need to do something about it. And that's where we're able to come together and say, reach our hand out and say, we're here and we're ready to do it, but we need the community's help as a whole in order to make this successful. But I think anybody that lives in Wisconsin Rapids wants to see our communities healed. That's what we all want. And together with Three Bridges, we're ready to do it. So we just need the community's backing in that, and in order to continue moving forward.
So if people want to donate, what would be the easiest way for them to do this?
Yeah, so there's a couple different options. They can go right to the Hannah Center website, which is www.hannahcenter.com. And under the donations tab, there's a link that is set up directly for the Wisconsin Rapids location, and they can donate online right there. They can also call the Hannah Center or Three Bridges and talk with myself or Megan. And they can also mail checks directly to the Hannah Center and just indicate for the Wisconsin Rapids location as well.
Yes. So we have had several people that have already called and said, hey, we read your article and we really want to help. What can we do to help? Typically, I direct them to Tricia. Otherwise, if they can also send donations or bring donations to Three Bridges as well. We just would ask that on the memo of the check that it specifically say that it's going towards the Hannah Center location. I know that a lot of the funds that we have been raising, that we're working on raising, a percentage of those will go towards the Hannah Center coming to Wisconsin Rapids. But if they want to specifically donate to that, as long as they leave a memo, they can do that.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to add in closing to?
Yeah, so we are excited and looking forward to meeting community members through this endeavor as the Hannah Center and Three Bridges come together in this partnership to bring a second location of the Hannah Center to Wisconsin Rapids to help heal our communities even further.
Okay. All right then. Well, Megan Birginal of Three Bridges and Tricia Fancher of the Hannah Center, we appreciate your joining us for this episode of Making Connections. We also wish you the very best in your fundraising efforts, because this is a very worthwhile undertaking that you're about to embark upon here. It will help the entire community.
Yes.
And we thank you for that.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. So that does it for this edition of Making Connections. Hope to see you next month, and take care.